The telecom sector in the Middle East is growing at a staggering speed. Penetration in the mobile phone market reached around 190% in 2008, whilst the number of mobile subscribers is forecast to grow at a CAGR of more than 7% during the next 3 years. To tell us more, we're joined by Mr. Zoran Vasiljev, a partner at Value Partners, who is at the Telecom World Middle East Forum. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So where does the Middle East telecom sector stand in comparison to global markets?
I mean, the Middle East sector continues to outperform the global average. I think that the average rate of subscriber growth in the Middle East outperforms the subscriber growth globally, which means there's still a lot of room for growth there. Middle East has a young population in general, which means there's going to be continuous growth in years to come. I believe that in this region we will see increased competition, we will see additional introduction of new business models, we will see introduction of additional MVNOs to give us more choice. Therefore, all in all, I think Middle East is still on the right track to perform well, and the sector has it's a promising sector.
Now, what are the main challenges the telecom sector is facing nowadays in the Middle East?
The main challenges definitely come if we take the perspective of the lines that are being blurred between the telecommunication sector, media sector, content companies, and so forth. We see that companies like Google, Facebook, and some of the content companies that are really dominating our everyday usage and our consumption of mobile internet. We see that competition being increased, and we see that operators will have to address this in a proper way. That's why we're here at a conference like this one, where one of the key questions is going to be around what are the new promising business models, and what are the business models that have a business case that actually going to end up making money to some of the participants. So I think that the challenge will be put to the operators and to the regulators of how to handle and how to introduce the new business models, and how will these business models actually benefit consumers and users, and eventually even business segments.
Now, competition has dramatically increased in the local market, forcing operators to reduce costs more than ever. Whilst this is great for consumers, how are the companies coping?
Well, competition is always good. It allows us as consumers and customers to enjoy variety of new products and new services. Now, when it comes to costs, many operators choose strategies to enter certain markets by cutting costs. Is that sustainable? I don't really think so. I don't really believe that is the right way to do it. But at some point, there's a decision to be made. Do we enter as operators into a region by cutting costs, or do we enter a new country by introducing new and innovative services? Because we need to think of also the network that we have invested in, but we have to think of the capacity that is available on our network and so forth. So to put these things together, it's a bit a tricky question.
The pricing in the Middle East telecom sector is at a premium when compared to other countries. Do you see this changing soon?
I believe that eventually it will come down. Right now, all the operators are recognizing that as consumers, we're all moving from the voice usage and from reliance on voice more and more on data. Therefore, as we all see, the data services and the data packages compared to Europe or maybe even US are much higher than what we experience in these other regions. Having said that, we as users are driving this. We are the ones that are demanding more and more in terms of usage capacity, even customer service and experience. So I'm actually very positive that at some point, with more competition, with additional value-added services that some of the other operators and players will introduce, with the introduction of more MVNOs, they will address some of the other segments that the prices will also level down, and I'm quite positive that at that time we'll all have a much better experience when it comes to our wallets.
Now, what are your expectations for 2010?
I mean, in 2010, I think we went through a storm in 2009 in terms of a global recession, and the telecom sector was not really spared. Having said that, there has been a phenomenon that the telecommunications sector has shown some resilience compared to some of the other industries, and it has performed quite well in terms of the overall sector. Now, 2010 will really demonstrate and separate the winners from the real losers. And when I say this, I really believe and I really think that there is a gap between the companies that have done much better. They have their strong balance sheets. They have done the planning for the future, and these companies and the sector is actually looking for new business models. They're looking for new areas of collaboration with adjacent industry, as I mentioned earlier, especially in the media sector, in the content sector.
Well, Mr. Zoran Vasiljev from Value Partners, thank you so much for your time on Inside Business today.
Thank you very much.
Well, that's it for this edition of Inside Business. You can contact us by writing to ib@city7tv.com. You can also join the Inside Business Facebook team. So for now, from all of us on the business desk, goodbye and thanks for watching.